Hello students, I am Satyaprakash. Welcome to Cards Physics. We are continuing chapter number 3, current electricity. Okay, so in this lecture we will discuss in brief on Kirchhoff's laws. First we will discuss the concepts of Kirchhoff's laws. Okay, means the statement of Kirchhoff's laws and the basic concepts or the principles on which Kirchhoff's laws are based, and finally we'll discuss some numericals on Kirchhoff's laws. Okay, but first question arises: why do we study Kirchhoff's law? Okay, so why do we study Kirchhoff's law? You know it? Okay, so related to electric circuit, we have already studied Ohm's law. Ohm's law can be applied to entire circuit as we have discussed. Ohm's law can be applied to entire circuit to calculate current. Ohm's law can be applied to entire circuit to calculate current. Of course, by applying Ohm's law, we can calculate potential difference. Okay. So we can calculate current, we can calculate potential difference accordingly. We can calculate resistance by applying Ohm's law. Again, Kirchhoff's laws are also applied to simplify electric circuits. Kirchhoff's laws are also applied to simplify electric circuit. But question arises, though Ohm's law is already studied, what is the importance of Kirchhoff's laws? Though Ohm's law is already studied, then what is importance of Kirchhoff's laws? So the answer is the situations in which by applying Ohm's law we can't simplify a complex electric circuit. Those situations are made easier by applying Kirchhoff's laws. Ohm's law can be applied to analyze electric circuit. Of course, Kirchhoff's laws are also applied to analyze electric circuit. But the importance of Kirchhoff's laws is the situations in which the circuit is complex. Then we can analyze the circuit easily by applying Kirchhoff's laws. Okay. So this type of discussions will be continuous, means in many cases we will find this type of discussions. Okay. Suppose by applying Coulomb's law, we can calculate electric field, we can find the electric field. Then why Gauss law is important? As we have discussed, Gauss law has high importance to find the electric field easily than by applying Coulomb's law. Of course, the similar situations are common. Okay, so here the only answer: Kirchhoff's laws are applied to simplify complex electrical circuit. Okay, then by applying Ohm's law. Okay, so the electrical circuits may contain resistors, capacitors, inductors, and of course the circuit contains cells or batteries. Okay, so whatever be the circuit element, we may apply Kirchhoff's laws to simplify the circuit. Okay, let's start our discussion. Kirchhoff's laws. There are two laws. Okay, Kirchhoff's laws is divided into two parts. So first law means Kirchhoff's first law. Okay, Kirchhoff's first law. So this law, Kirchhoff's first law, is also called as Kirchhoff's current law. Kirchhoff's current law. Kirchhoff's first law is also called as Kirchhoff's current law. So you may call it in short form KCL, Kirchhoff's current law. Okay. So first, what is statement of Kirchhoff's current law? First law is Kirchhoff's current law, or you may say KCL in short form. Then what is statement? According to Kirchhoff's first law, sum of algebraic sum of currents meeting at a junction, or junction may be called as a node. Okay, algebraic sum of currents meeting at a junction or node in an electric circuit. In an electric circuit is G. Okay, algebraic sum of electric currents, algebraic sum of currents meeting at a junction or node. Algebraic sum of currents meeting at a junction or node in an electric circuit is 0. Okay, then what is junction or what is node? See, we have already have some idea in so when we are discussing about numericals and combination of capacitors, we have already discussed node or junction. So here, in simpler way, you may take it easily. So node or junction is a point where where three or more conductors meet in a circuit. Junction is a point where three or more conductors meet in a circuit. Okay, so if there is electric circuit containing resistance, we may assume current is flowing from high potential to low potential. Okay, so junction is a point where three or more conductors meet. So less than 3 is not possible. So if less than 2 conductors meet, then it is not said as a junction. Minimum 3 or more conductors meet at a point, that point is called junction or node. So according to Kirchhoff's law, algebraic sum of currents meeting at a junction in an electric circuit is 0. So mathematically we may write sum of currents meeting at a junction is 0. Algebraic sum of currents meeting at a junction is 0. Okay, let's take some example. As we know, current is a scalar quantity. Okay, so sum of currents can be calculated algebraically. So to find resulting current, if 2 currents or 3 currents meeting at a junction, then resulting current can be calculated by taking algebraic sum. Means addition of currents independent of angle. Algebraic addition is independent of angle. Simply you say, for illustration we may take, let this is a junction O in an electric circuit. Okay, the 2 conductors are meeting here. This current is I1, this current is I2. This is a junction. Suppose 2 conductors meeting in which current is coming towards O, and outgoing current, let I3. Let outgoing current is I3. Then according to Kirchhoff's law, first law, the sum of currents meeting at a junction or node in an electric circuit is 0. So we have to consider here sign convention. Okay. So if you take let incoming current sign, we may take positive. Outgoing current sign is negative. These are convention, sign convention. or vice versa, or vice versa. Incoming currents we should take positive, the currents which are coming to the junction, and outgoing currents is negative. Okay, outgoing is negative or vice versa. You may take, if you take incoming current negative, then you should take outgoing current positive. Okay, vice versa. So in this case, sum of currents meeting at a junction is 0, means I1 plus I2 plus I3 is equal to 0. So if sum of currents meeting at a junction is 0, then incoming current is positive I1 plus I2. So these are incoming, but I3 is outgoing, minus I3 is equal to 0. So we may say I3 is equal to I1 plus I2, or vice versa. You may write I1 plus I2 is equal to I3. It means I1 plus I2. I1 plus I2 is sum of incoming currents, and I3 is, you may take several branches as output. Suppose I do take, this is I4, this is I5. Okay, then the equation will change. Again, I am taking the equation in new form. Total current is 0, I1 plus I2, these two are incoming, plus I3 plus I4 plus I5 is equal to 0. It means I1 plus I2, these two are incoming, positive, plus minus I3 plus minus I4 plus minus I5 is equal to 0. So incoming currents we do take positive, outgoing currents we do take negative according to sign convention. So we may write I1 plus I2 is equal to I3 plus I4 plus I5. So I1 plus I2, sum of incoming currents I1 and I2, and sum of outgoing currents I3 plus I4 plus I5, means sum of incoming currents is equal to sum of outgoing currents. Okay. So this is also may be taken as statement of Kirchhoff's law, first law. So according to Kirchhoff's first law, you may give the statement like this. According to Kirchhoff's first law, the sum of incoming current is equal to sum of outgoing current for a junction or for a load in an electric circuit. So for an electric circuit, in an electric circuit at any junction, sum of incoming currents is equal to sum of outgoing currents. Okay. So again we have discussed from very beginning what is meant by current. What is meant by current? Current means flow of charge. Current means flow of charge. So total incoming charge to junction O is equal to total outgoing charge from junction O. Okay. So whatever charge is coming to a junction, is equal to the charges outgoing from the junction. So there is no accumulation of charge, there is no deposition of charge at any junction. Whatever amount of charge comes to a junction immediately goes out. So there is no accumulation or no deposition of charge at any junction. So what idea do you get from Kirchhoff's first law? Kirchhoff's first law is based on, this is KCL. Kirchhoff's first law is based on law of conservation of charge. Kirchhoff's first law is based on law of conservation of charge. Charge is neither created nor be destroyed. It can only be transferred. Whatever charge comes to a junction is equal to outgoing charge. Incoming charge is equal to outgoing charge. There is no accumulation of charge at any junction in the electric circuit. So Kirchhoff's first law gives the idea about law of conservation of charge. This is all about Kirchhoff's first law. Let's have an illustration numerical. Very easy numerical on Kirchhoff's first law. Okay? Can I read it now? Okay. Let's have the fundamental numerical on Kirchhoff's first law. Okay. Suppose a circuit is given to me. This is a part of circuit, that complete circuit. This is a part of circuit. Okay. Let here. This is a part of circuit. These are conductors. Okay. These are conductors. This is a part of circuit, and these conductors are joined to different parts. Okay. Let here current is 15 ampere, and here current is 3 ampere. Okay. And here current is, let 5 ampere, and this is outgoing current, let I. Suppose here current is flowing like this in this path. So let this current is 8 ampere. Okay. This current is 8 ampere. Then it is asked to calculate the magnitude of I. We have to calculate magnitude of this current I. Okay. So as per Kirchhoff's first law, sum of incoming current is equal to sum of outgoing current for a junction. For a junction, sum of incoming current is equal to sum of outgoing current. Select name A, B, C. Okay. A, B, C. This C. To junction A, 1, 2, 3. There are 3 conductors here. There are also 3 conductors. At junction C, there are 3 conductors. At junction D, again there are 3 conductors. Okay. These conductors are meeting, and these are incoming currents, but this current is the outgoing current which is asked. Okay. If this is 15 ampere for junction A, or junction A, C, incoming current 15 ampere plus 8 ampere, these are positive. Incoming current to junction A is equal to outgoing current in the branch AB. Current in the branch AB, this is IAB. Okay, this is IAB. So incoming currents are 15 ampere and 8 ampere, and outgoing current is IAB. So IAB is equal to 23 ampere. Similar for junction B. For junction B. For junction B, see, IAB and 3 ampere are incoming current, and this current is IBC. This current is IBC. Current is from B to C. These 2 currents are incoming, means IAB plus 3 ampere. These 2 are incoming, is equal to outgoing current is IBC. So IAB is 23 ampere plus 3 ampere, that's equals to IBC. So current through branch BC is 26 ampere. Is it clear? Then at junction C. Okay. See, this branch shows 8 ampere. Okay, this is right. This is right. Okay. Then what is this current? So let's find first. Okay, at junction C. At junction C. Okay. Then these 2. Sorry, this current is incoming IBC, and these 2 currents are outgoing plus ICD. This current is ICD. Okay, this is incoming. Incoming current is equal to total outgoing current. This is outgoing and this is outgoing. So outgoing current is ICD and outgoing current is I, which is asked. Okay. Then IBC is 26 ampere. Then what is ICD? Then what is ICD? See, we have left junction D. At junction D, I am writing here at junction D. At junction D, see, this is incoming, this is incoming. So incoming currents are ICD. This is incoming to point D, and this is incoming plus 5 ampere, and outgoing current is 8 ampere. See, for junction D, ICD and 5 ampere are incoming, and 8 ampere is outgoing. So incoming current, sum of incoming currents ICD and 5 ampere is equal to outgoing current 8 ampere. So ICD is equal to 8 minus 5 means 3 ampere. Okay. Now ICD is 3 ampere plus I. Then it is asked to calculate I. I is equal to 26 minus 3 is equal to 23 ampere. So it is required to calculate the magnitude of I. I is equal to 23 ampere. Just analyze the junction at junction A, at junction B, at junction C, and at junction D. Okay. Too easier. Just use the first law. Okay. Can I erase it now? Okay. Then second law, very interesting. Actually, second law is very interesting, and many complex numericals can be solved very, very, very easily by applying Kirchhoff's laws. Okay, and you must give importance to both laws, of course, but second law is very, very important. Okay, so Kirchhoff's second law. Okay, Kirchhoff's second law. Very important, Kirchhoff's second law. Let's go through the fundamental statement of Kirchhoff's second law. Then we will go to analysis. Okay. So illustration. Then we will have numericals. Okay. According to Kirchhoff's second law, okay, the sum of in simpler way, to think in simpler way, according to Kirchhoff's second law, in a closed path of circuit, total change in potential is zero. In very simple way. In a closed path of circuit, total change in potential is zero. Okay, and we know when current flows, and the current has to overcome the resistance, then work is done against resistance. So if work is done, then there is potential drop. Okay, so total change in potential in a closed path of circuit is zero, or you may say in a closed path of circuit, sum of product of current and resistance. This is I am writing for only resistive circuit. Of course, we may apply capacitive circuit, inductive circuit. Okay. For a closed path of circuit, in a closed path of circuit, sum of product of current and resistance is equal to sum of EM. Okay. In a closed path of circuit, sum of product of current and resistance is equal to sum of EMF. So, in simpler way, you may write sum of product of current and resistance is equal to sum of EMF. Okay. If one cell is given, you may take E. If number of cells are given, then you may take sum of EMFs. Okay. See, Units of IR is volt. V is equal to IR. Of course, units of EMF is volt. Means total change in volt is zero. Total change in volt is zero. So Kirchhoff's second law is also called as Kirchhoff's voltage law. Or in short way, you may say KVL. Kirchhoff's current law, KCL, okay, and Kirchhoff's voltage law in short form, you may say KVL, KCL, KVL. So students say like this, okay. So in short form, of course, in many places we do use short forms. Even our names also we are using short form, okay. So total change in volt or change in potential, total change in potential in a closed path of circuit is zero. Again we know, potential is source of energy. Potential is source of energy. Total change in potential is zero. Okay? Total change in potential is zero. Potential is source of energy. Means total change in energy is zero. Total change in energy is zero. So if total change in energy is zero, we may write Kirchhoff's second law. Kirchhoff's second law is based on law of conservation of energy. Okay, Kirchhoff's second law is based on law of conservation of energy. Of course, in mathematical form, you may write total change in volt is zero for a closed loop. Okay, total change in volt is zero for a closed loop. So closed path of circuit or loop. So Kirchhoff's second law is called as Kirchhoff's voltage law, or you may say Kirchhoff's loop law. Kirchhoff's loop law. Kirchhoff's loop law or Kirchhoff's voltage law. So total change in volt is zero, or you may say in a closed path of circuit, sum of product of current and resistance is equal to sum of EMFs. Okay. Now about sign convention. So in first law we have taken sign convention. Incoming currents to a junction is positive. Incoming currents to a junction is positive, and outgoing current from a junction is negative. So here we have to take sign convention. Okay. Is it clear? Is it clear to you? Okay. Can I erase it now? Okay. So how can we take sign convention? See, I am taking first example of cell. That is cell. EMF is EMF is. So we are taking the direction, path along this direction. This is positive, this is negative. Then here, we are moving from positive to negative. This is our path. We are moving from high potential to low potential. We are moving from high potential to low potential. If you move from high potential to low potential, then potential increases or potential decreases. If we move from high potential to low potential, then potential increases or potential decreases. High to low, potential decreases. So, our convention, high potential, to low potential, we may take sign negative. From high potential to low potential, this is the path we have taken. We are traveling along this path. So high potential to low potential, potential decreases. So sign is negative. So suppose we will take now path. This is the path. Now we are traveling from low potential to high potential. So from low potential to high potential, from low potential to high potential. See, if we travel from low potential to high potential, then potential increases. Means there is gain in potential. If we gain, we say positive. High potential to low potential, there is a decrease in potential, loss of potential, so negative. Or you may take vice versa. This is generalized convention from high potential to low potential, negative. From low potential to high potential, positive, or vice versa. This is the case of cell. Suppose I am taking a resistance R. Suppose current is flowing like this. Okay, current flows from high potential to low potential. Then here potential difference is V. So if we are taking this part, means current is flowing from high potential to low potential. Here V is negative. Potential difference is negative. So similar, for this V is negative. So if you take this is the path, means we are traveling from low potential to high potential. This is from low to high. Then in this case, potential is positive. From high potential to low potential, potential difference V is negative, and from low potential to high potential, V is positive. Loss of potential negative, gain in potential positive, or vice versa. You will get same answer. Okay. So accordingly, we may use capacitors, inductors. Okay. We'll see in next page when we'll go across the numericals. Okay. In this lecture, we will discuss only on the resistive circuit, numericals of resistive circuit. So Kirchhoff's second law is based on law of conservation of energy. Total change in volt is zero. Total change in potential is zero. Potential is source of energy. Total change in potential is zero. So Kirchhoff's second law gives the idea about law of conservation of energy. Right? Okay. Then some examples on Kirchhoff's second law. Some numericals, fundamental numericals, very easy, and I hope you will enjoy this. But remember, these fundamentals will help you to find the answer, means solution, in many complex numericals. Kirchhoff's laws may be applied to complex numericals. Okay, let's have the idea how to find equations by applying Kirchhoff's laws. Let's have an idea how to find equations by applying Kirchhoff's laws. In accordance with sign convention, let's have first illustration of Kirchhoff's second law, then we will go to numerical. Okay. Suppose this is a circuit. Okay. This is a cell connected in the circuit, positive, negative, that is EMF is E. This resistance is R1, this resistance is R2. Let current flowing is I, A, B, C, D. In a closed path of circuit. Okay. So, for a closed path of circuit, let's take, you may take in clockwise or closed path of circuit. I am writing closed path of circuit clockwise. A, B, C, D, A. Starting from A, again I do return back to A. So circuit is closed. Starting from A, B, C, D, A. This is closed path. So you may take clockwise order or you may take anti-clockwise order, doesn't matter. The answer will same. You may take clockwise order or you may take anti-clockwise order. This is a closed path. This is a closed path A, B, C, D, A. See, the simplest way, current flows from high potential to low potential. This is the current. So this is the current R. So current flows from high potential to low potential. This is also I. There is no branch. Then current flows from high potential to low potential. Okay. Then from A to B, there is no resistance. There is no load. So product of I and R is 0 from A to B. Then from B to C, A to B, there is no load, no resistance. IR, here resistance is 0. So potential drop is 0. From B to C, now we are traveling from B to C, means from high potential to low potential minus current is I, resistance is R. B to C. Then from C to D, again we are traveling from high potential to low potential. Current flows from high potential to low potential, and our path is also along the flow of current, means from high potential to low potential, and again negative IR from C to D. Then from D to A, our path is from B to A. Then we are traveling from low potential to high potential, means plus E is equal to 0. Okay. Of course, you may divide this circuit. Okay. You may divide this circuit. Then this is the circuit. Let this resistance is R3. This is EMF E1. This is EMF E2. Okay. So current is flowing. Let this current is I1. This current is I1. Okay. So this current is I1, but practically, of course, you take just reverse this for easy calculation. This is EMF E. Okay. This is negative. This is positive. Let this current is I2. Okay. Current from this terminal is I1. Current from this terminal is I2. Then this current is now I1 plus I2. I2 and I1 get combined, and this is I1 plus I2. And here current flows from high potential to low potential. Then now the closed path A, B. Suppose this is E, don't take E. This is G, this is H, because E is already used. So A, B, G, H, A. A, B, G, H, A. Starting from A to B, there is no load. Product of IR is 0. Then from B to G, from high potential to low potential, our path is from B to G. We are traveling from high to low, means from positive to negative, high potential to low potential. Positive is treated as high potential, negative is treated as low potential. So there is potential drop. Okay. So from B to G, minus high potential to low potential minus I1, resistance is R1. B to G. Then from G to H, see, if our path is from G to H, then to overcome this resistance, we are traveling from negative to positive, means from low potential to high potential, means there is gain in potential from low to high, from G to H, negative and positive. So current is I2, resistance is R. Then the cell from G to H, the cell comes there. To overcome the cell, this is positive, this is negative, means from high to low, minus E. We have reached that H. Then from H to A, again from low potential to high potential, again from low potential to high potential plus E. This is from high to low, minus this is from low to high, plus E2. Sorry, this is E1. Sorry, this is E1 is equal to 0. So see, A, B, G, H, A, we have taken clockwise. So the rest circuit, this is also a part we have divided into two parts. So for this part, you may take either clockwise or anti-clockwise, whatever you may take. See, I have taken clockwise. Okay, you will take it anti-clockwise. You take it anti-clockwise or clockwise. So in anti-clockwise order, let's take H, D, C, G, H, H, D, C, G, H, H, D, C, G, H. This is anti-clockwise. H, D, B, C, Sorry, SD, CD, H. Continuous. Let's start from H to D. H to D, there is no load, potential drop is 0. Then from B to C, current is I1 plus I2. So current flows from high potential to low potential, but we are traveling. Our path is from B to C, means from low to high. So we will take plus. Current is I1 plus I2, and resistance is R2. From low to high positive. Current is I1 plus I2, resistance is R2, IR plus. Then from C to G, there is no load, there is no resistance, so potential drop is 0. Again, from G to H, again, from low potential to high potential plus. Current is I2, resistance is R3, then to this is cell. If you move from G to H, then first positive, then negative. This is high potential, this is low potential per cell. From high potential to low potential, negative, minus E2. This is E2 is equal to 0. Okay. So these are simple illustration. Of course, you may take, if you take in clockwise order, A, B, G, C, D, H, A. A, B, G, C, D, H, A. This is also a closed path. You may apply the similar. Okay. Very simple, but can be applied to solve complex circuits. Let's start new methods. Okay. Number one, very simple numerical. Okay. Suppose this is a circuit. This is 1 ohm. This is 2 ohm. I am taking arbitrarily anywhere. Okay. Okay. Let's take here a resistance. This is 3 ohm. Let's take here another resistance. This is like 4 ohm. Okay. This is a conducting path, means connecting wire of no resistance. Okay. Now, it's connected between the terminals of a cell, positive, negative. Let potential difference between the terminal potential difference is 50 volt. Okay. So it is seen that along this branch, let current is I. Along this branch, let current is I. Okay. Let this current is, if you take, suppose this current I, let's take this current. Okay, you may take anywhere. This current is I1. This current is I. I is divided into two branches, I1 and I. I1 and I. So, you may take here, I1 is again divided, this branch is I3, this branch is I4. Or you may take for simplification, this is I1 minus I3. This branch is, this is 2 ohm, this is I1, this current is I1 minus I3. See, I1 is divided into two branches. This branch is I3 and rest is I1 minus I3. Okay. So along this branch, this is I3, this is I2. So total current will be I2 plus I3. Okay. Then it is asked, calculate I. Magnitude of I3. Sorry. Calculate magnitude of I3. We have to calculate this current through this branch I3. Okay. Too easier, just name it A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Okay. by applying Kirchhoff's law. Okay, don't forget Kirchhoff's first law, current law. Incoming currents, this is incoming current I1, this is outgoing, and this is outgoing. Sum of incoming current is equal to sum of outgoing current. Okay, then taking the loop closed path, I am writing here closed path. For the closed path, let's consider this path. Okay. And I have taken this is clockwise order. Let's take this is anti-clockwise order. Let's take this path is clockwise order. Any clockwise, anti-clockwise, whatever you may take. Now I am starting from BC, BHB. BC, BHB. See, this is clockwise. BC, BHB. Closed path of circuit. BC, BHB. Current flows from high potential to low potential. Current flows from this current is flowing along this branch from high potential to low potential. From B to C, there is no load, there is no potential drop. B to C, 0. No potential drop. Then from C to D, from high potential to low potential, current is I1, resistance is 1 ohm. Then I1 into resistance is 1 ohm. This is minus from high potential to low potential, and from B to H. From B to H, see there is no resistance, we may write like this. So current is flowing along this branch. This is high potential, this is low potential. So minus I3 into 0, there is no resistance, there is no potential drop. From B to H, from B to H. Then from H to B, from H to B, we are traveling from low potential to high potential plus. Current is I2, resistance is 3, is equal to 0. From B to C, there is no load, IR is 0. From C to D, we are traveling from high potential to low potential, IR minus high potential to low potential minus current I1, resistance is 1. From C to D, minus from high to low, minus current is I3, resistance is 0. From H to B, current is I2, resistance is 3, but we are traveling from negative to positive, high potential to low potential, so plus. Solving it, this is 0. So minus I1 plus 3I2 is equal to 0, means I1 is equal to 3I2. Okay. We have to find I3. This is for loop BCBHB. Then take another loop in anti-clockwise or this loop HFEDH. 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 This is anti-clockwise. Start from H. Current flows from high potential to low potential. Current flows from high potential to low potential. From H to F, from high potential to low potential minus. Current is I2 plus I3. Resistance is 4 ohm. H to F. Then F to E is 0. There is no load, no resistance. H to F is. H to F is I2 plus I3 into 4 ohm minus F to E. F to E. Resistance is 0. Then from E to D. From E to D means from low potential to high potential, negative to positive. Low potential to high potential is positive. Here current is I1 minus I3, but resistance is 2 ohm. We reach that D. Again from D to H, 0. There is no resistance. The similar factor is equal to 0. Okay. Then minus 4, I am multiplying directly. Minus 4I2 minus 4I3 plus 2I1 minus 2I3 is equal to 0. Okay. So minus 4I2 minus 4I3, sorry, minus 4I3 minus 2I3, 6I3 plus 2I1 is equal to 0. Okay, then minus 4I2 minus 6I3 plus 2 into I1, in place of I1 I can write 3I2 is equal to 0. Okay, so this is minus 4I2 minus 6I3 plus 6I2 is equal to 0. So 6I2 minus 4I2, that is equals to 2I2 minus 6I3 is equal to 0. So 6I3 is equal to 2I2. Is it clear? 6I3 is equal to 2I2, or we may write I3 is equal to 2 by 6. I3 is equal to 2 by 6 means 1 by 3 I2. I3 is 1 by 3 I2. Okay. Then another loop is left. Another loop is left. Can I erase it, or I am doing here? Another loop. This is we have taken clockwise. Let's start from A. Closed path A, B, H, F, G, A, B, H, F, G, A, A, B, H, F, G, A. This is clockwise. This is clockwise. Then from A to B, there is a no load. From B to H, high potential to low potential. Current is I2 minus, high to low, negative I2. Resistance is 3 ohm. Then from H to F, from H to F, again from high to low, minus. Current is I2 plus I3. Resistance is 4. Then F to G is 0. Then from G to A, from low potential to high potential plus 50 volt is equal to 0. Then let's solve it. Minus 3I2, minus 4I2, minus 4I3 plus 50 is equal to 0. Okay. Then 4I2, 3I2, 7I2 minus, this is minus 4I3 plus 50 is equal to 0. Okay. Then 7I2 plus 4I3 is equal to 50. Take it up to right side. Okay. In place of I2, have we got any relation? Okay. We have to calculate I3. Then here, I2 is equal to 3I3. I2 is equal to 3I3, put here. 7 into 3I3 plus 4I3 is equal to 50. Okay. This is 21I3 plus 4I3. 21 plus 4. 25 I3 is equal to 50. So this implies I3 is equal to 2 ampere. I3 is equal to 2 ampere. 50 by 25, 50 by 25. So I3 is 2 ampere. Is it clear? Too easier. Just apply the loop rule. This is very easier. Then second numerical we will go. Second numerical. Can I erase it? Is it clear? Take screenshot. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Next numerical. Just apply Kirchhoff's laws in similar way. You will get your answer. These are too easier. These are very easier. Okay. Then this is a part of circuit. Let current flowing. This is it. Let current flowing is 3 ampere. Current flowing is 3 ampere. This is a cell. This is positive, negative. Let this EMF is 6 volt. Okay. This is a resistance. Let this is 2 ohm. Okay. This is a cell. Okay. Negative and positive. Let this is 9 volt. Again, this is a resistance of 3 ohm, and this is 0.9. Then it is asked to find potential difference between A and B of the part of circuit. Find potential difference between A and B of the part of circuit. Very easy. So we may write current is flowing from A towards B. Obviously A is at high potential, B is at low potential. Conventional current flows from high potential to low potential directly. We may write VA minus VB. So current flows, 3 ampere current is flowing. This is the single path, positive to negative. Current flows from positive to negative. Okay. First we go across the cell from positive to negative, high potential to low potential, minus 6 volt. Then current is 3 ampere. Our path is from A to B, again from high to low, minus 3 ampere into 2 ohm, IR minus IR. I is 3 ampere, R is 2 ohm. Then again, we are traveling from negative to positive, low potential to high potential, then sign is positive, potential is 9 volt. Then current flows from high potential to low potential, current is 3, from high potential to low potential minus 3 into 3. I is 3 ampere, resistance is 3 ohm. Then VA minus VB, minus 6 plus 9, minus 9. Oh, minus 6, 3 into 2, okay, 3 into 2, minus 6. This is 9 volt, again 3 into 3, 9, okay. 9 get cancelled, 9 get cancelled, then this is minus 2 volt. Of course, you may write potential difference is 12 volt. Okay. Negative, no need to take negative because we have taken sign convention. So potential difference is 12 volt. So in similar way, you may apply in numerical. Now, a new form of numerical, very easier and a common question given in any type of objective, okay, in any type of MCQ book, okay. Suppose this is also a part of circuit. We start from A, okay. This is a resistor, this is a point O, this is a point B, this is a point C. Let potential at A is 70 volt. A is at 70 volt. Potential of B is at 0 volt. B is at 0 volt. Then potential of C is at 10 volt. Okay. So this resistance is 10 ohm. Okay. This resistance is 20 ohm, and this resistance is 30. Okay. 30. Okay. So let here current is I1. Current flows, conventional current flows from high potential to low potential, and 70 volt is highest potential. Of course, we may take current from 70 volt. When I1 current we have taken from 70 volt reaches at A, then it is divided into two branches. Let this resistance 10 ohm is R1, 10 ohm. Let this resistance is R2, 20 ohm. Let this current is I2, and accordingly this current is I3. Let this resistance is R3, 30. Okay. Then it is asked to find I1 is to I2 is to I3. Calculate ratio of I1, I2 and I3. Very easy. Current flows from high potential to low potential. Then first apply Kirchhoff's first law to junction O. This is a part of circuit. Again, the connections are there. This is connected to 70 volt. This is connected to 10 volt. This is connected to 0 volt, or B is ordered. Okay. This is a junction. Sum of currents meeting at a junction is 0. Sum of currents meeting at a junction is 0. So incoming current I1, outgoing current minus I2, outgoing current minus I3 is equal to 0. Okay. It is required to calculate from junction O, incoming current I1, outgoing current I2, outgoing current I3. Then sum of currents is 0, means I1 is equal to I2 plus I3. Okay. But current is V by R. V is equal to IR, current is V by R. So current is potential difference of a resistance. So I1 is current through AO, the branch AO. Here potential difference is 70 volt. Let here potential is VO minus VO. This is at low potential. Current is flowing from high potential to low potential. So 70 minus VO is potential difference divided by resistance is R1. So V by R is I1. Similarly for I2, I2 is current from O to B. Here potential difference, current is flowing from O to B. O is at high potential, B is at low potential. Then in place of I2, potential difference VO minus 0. This is VO, this is 0, divided by resistance R2, okay, plus I3. Current is again flowing from O to C. O is at high potential, potential difference VO minus 10 volts divided by R3. But R1 is 10 ohm, R1 is 10 ohm, R2 is 20 ohm, R3 is 30 ohm. Okay, 0, 0, 0, we may cancel. So it comes 70 minus VO potential at O is equal to VO divided by 2 plus VO minus 10 divided by 3. Then 70 minus VO is equal to LCM 6. Then this is 3 VO. Then this is 2. 2 VO minus 20. Then solve it. Then solve it. 70 into 6. Okay, 70 into 6 for 20 minus VO is equal to 3 VO plus 2 VO means 5 VO minus 20. Okay. So now solve it. 5 VO minus VO, 4 VO. 5 VO minus VO, 4 VO. Then, sorry. 5 VO, 420 plus 20 is equal to 5 VO plus VO. Okay. 6 VO is equal to 440. 6 VO is equal to 440. I think somewhere I1. See, I1 is 70 minus 0. 70 minus 0 divided by resistance is 10 ohm. I2. VO minus 0 is VO divided by 20. Divided by 20 plus I3 VO minus 10 volt divided by 30. Okay, 0, 0, 0 cancel. 70 minus VO is equal to VO divided by 2 plus VO minus 10 divided by 3. Okay. Then LCM is 6. This is 3 VO. Then 2 VO minus 20. 70 minus VO. 6 is cross multiplied. Oh, here 6 VO. Sorry. This is 6 VO. Okay. This is 5 VO minus 20. This was the mistake. 6 into 70, 420 minus 6 VO. Okay. This is 3 plus 2, 5 VO minus 20. Okay. Now it will be 420 plus 20, 440. 5 VO plus 6 VO. Then this is 11 VO is equal to 440. Okay. 11 VO is equal to 440. Then VO is equal to 40 volt. Okay. VO is equal to 40 volt. Then it is required to calculate I1 is to I2 is to I3. Now it is easier. This is I1, this is I2, this is I3. Okay. So we got VO. VO is 40 volt. Now it is easier. 2 easier, not easier. Can I erase it? Okay. So I1 is to I2 is to I3. I1 is to I2 is to I3. We have got it 40 volt. I1 is to I2 is to I3. It will come I1 is 70 volt minus VO is 40 volt divided by 10 ohm. Potential difference by resistance is 2. I2 is current along this branch. Potential difference 40 volt minus 0 divided by 20 is 2. I3 along this branch 40 volt minus 10 volt. This is 10 volt. 40 volt minus 10 volt divided by resistance is 30 ohm. Then this will come 70 minus 40, 30 divided by 10, 3. 40 by 20 is 2. Okay, 40 by 20 is 2. 40 minus 10 is 30. 30 by 30 is 1. So, finally I may write the I1 is to I2 is to I3. Is 3 is to 2 is to 1. Is it easier? Not easier, too easier? Okay. This is end of this lecture. Kirchhoff's first law and Kirchhoff's second law. We have discussed the concept and some fundamental numericals on Kirchhoff's first law and Kirchhoff's second law. Okay. Thanks, my dear children. In next lecture, I will meet you with Wheatstone's bridge. With Wheatstone bridge. Balance condition, and thereafter we will move to unbalanced Wheatstone's bridge. Thanks, my dear children. Thanks.